Full-Time Review is supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And if you work in the oil and gas industry, why not pay a visit to my new sponsors, Craig International, who will be in Abu Dhabi at the ADIPEC 2023. The guys will be on stand 14380 inside Hall 14. I'm absolutely sure they will be delighted to see you. So why not go over and say hello? It's taken a while, but the Dons are up and running in the league after an impressive 4-0 victory against Ross County at Pittodrie yesterday. So it means there's now a little bit of a gap between us and St Johnstone at the bottom of the table. Obviously, we face Ross County again in the quarterfinals of the League Cup on Wednesday, and then we pay a visit to Glasgow to play Rangers on Saturday. That is a 3 o'clock kickoff. Hi everybody, how you doing this Monday evening? Well, wasn't that fun yesterday at long last? Oh, we've been waiting so long to get a decent performance, and to be fair, 2 decent back-to-back performances. I know obviously we lost against Frankfurt, but we did put in a very decent performance. So we have a bit of a bumper show for you tonight, because obviously I wasn't with you over the weekend due to family commitments. So tonight is all about sort of catching up, looking forward, and just reacting to what's happened over the past few days. So on tonight's show, I'll be talking to North Sound Radio sports editor Dave Galloway. He gives us a journalistic view on yesterday's game. I'll be speaking to my pal and big Aberdeen fan Richard Wilkinson, who also looks back on yesterday's game and looks forward to the game on Wednesday. I've got a little video that I made of my trip up to Frankfurt from last week. I'll be bringing that to you a little bit later as well. And of course, it's all about you, the fans, getting in touch and having your say about the past few days, what you thought of yesterday's game and what you think going forward. So all of a sudden, obviously, the spirits have been lifted massively over the past few days in what have been 2 very encouraging performances. So just before we get to Dave Galloway, just let's remind ourselves of the team and the formation that Barry sort of went with yesterday. So I must admit, when I saw the formation, I was a little bit like, oh no, that's another very brave move. But I have to say, I think Big Slobodan playing in between Richard Jensen and Gartenmann has sort of helped stabilise him. Let's put it that way. Again, I thought he put in an excellent shift yesterday. I thought the 2 wing-backs were great, obviously, until McGarry had to go off. I thought Jamie McGrath was sensational. Duke back to his brilliant best. And what can we say about Bojan, who just seems to get better and better and better. Let's also not forget the captain, who just had bundles of energy. And I thought Connor Barron is getting back to the type of player that he used to be before all the transfer speculation a wee while ago. So absolutely delighted overall with the performance. I want to talk about Duke because in the past few weeks, you know, I've been a little bit worried about him. Body language was down, head was down, just didn't look quite right, did he? Gets his first goal in 16 games yesterday. I just thought he looked back to his old self. It was great to see him playing with a smile on his face and getting his first goal of the new season. But that flick for Bojan's second goal, it's just outrageous. It was just sensational. And to me, to have the audacity and the, what's the word I'm looking for? The confidence to be able to do that as you're on your way down, and the vision as well. That's the Duke that we all know and love. It was just absolutely brilliant. As I mentioned, Connor Barron just looked so accomplished in the middle. Bojan, absolutely outstanding. Jamie McGrath, a quick word on Jamie, because some people have questioned him. Technically, yesterday, I thought he was our best player on the pitch. And we're now starting to reap the benefits of him coming in, because there was always a player in him. And, it's that old saying, when you come into a club and you play, and I mean this with no disrespect to the other clubs and the other players that he used to play with and his old teammates, but when you play with better players of a different standard, a higher standard, you are automatically going to raise your game and you automatically become a better player. And I think we're starting to see that in him now. I just thought we looked like a completely different team because we kept the ball on the deck. And for me, that was the biggest difference between us playing Hearts a couple of weeks ago and obviously Ross County yesterday. To keep the ball on the deck for us is how we should be playing football, because we've got the technically gifted players who can be creative and make things happen and open things up for us. We have to keep the ball on the deck. And what a difference it makes. And just lastly, how on earth James Brown never got a red card for that just outrageous tackle on Johnny Hayes yesterday is just mind-boggling. How VAR just let it go is just absolutely astonishing. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures on socials of the damage that it did to Johnny's leg yesterday. My God. It's absolutely frightening, wasn't it? So, lots to get through tonight. So we'll start by getting a journalistic opinion on yesterday's game. And this is the part of the show that I like to call the press call. Welcome, Dave Galloway. Hi, Dave. It's great to see you, as always. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know it's your day off, so it's very much appreciated.
It's a labour of love appearing on your show.
Good man. Hey, listen, so I know you were at the game yesterday. The first question I want to ask you before we get into the crux of the game, when you saw the formation and you saw three at the back, did you think, I wonder how the fans will react to this?
I can't say it was quaking in my boots. There was a little bit of trepidation because I know a lot of people had been calling for a back four, but I think it worked very well. They were very solid. Rubezic in the middle, Gartenman on the right, Jensen on the left, and then the wing backs, Devlin on the right, McGarry on the left. And I think once the game started, I think you could see for yourself, Aberdeen looked very solid, and the clean sheet will tell you that. I don't think Keller Roos had too much to do, to be honest.
That was like the Dons that we all love and know, that performance yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, some very good passages of play for me. I was unfortunately at Tynecastle reporting on the Hearts Aberdeen game, and I know that Aberdeen's style of play that day was described by many as hoofball. It's hard to disagree with that. There was little or no passing and moving. It was just punt the ball, long ball, long ball. It didn't work. It was a very, very timid defeat. Some really good passages of play, like I say, against Ross County. What was great to see, or one of the things that was great to see, the front two, perhaps for the first time this season, they really looked like they were clicking into gear, didn't they? Duke and Miovski dovetailing very well, setting each other up, showing signs of that understanding, that almost telepathic understanding that they showed last season. And that was fantastic. We need more, though.
Exactly. That's the Duke that we've been waiting to just sort of pop out of his shell. It was just, first and foremost, delighted that he got his goal, but also that he was playing again with a smile on his face, which we haven't seen so far this season.
No, I mean, his effort has never dipped. And I spoke to Barry Robson after the game, and he said, his figures, the figures that you get with the satellite equipment that they wear on their vests, his figures are always through the roof. But he has been looking very subdued, hasn't he? Not his normal self, like you say, Ali. But I thought he was back to playing with a bit of a swagger. He was very unlucky not to have scored before he got that goal, and the way he set up Miovski for Aberdeen's fourth goal. I mean, that was vintage Duke, wasn't it? It was just impudence and a little bit of cockiness, a lot of confidence, and he seemed to be off balance, and he still had that outrageous little back heel flick and then magnificent finish from Miovski as well.
Yeah. Right, just to finish off, Dave. So obviously, Ross County, again, couple of days' time. If we take yesterday's form into Wednesday's game, not that I'm trying to be cocky, but I don't think we'll have too many issues, he says.
Yeah, I'm heading through to the game as well. Very much looking
Great.
forward to it. They do say pride comes before a fall, so I'm sure Barry will absolutely ensure that they're very much of the mindset as players of this is a new game.
Yeah.
We played very well, but it was just one game. And speaking to Malky Mackay at Pittodrie yesterday as well, when I spoke to him, he said, that this is going to be a totally different game. We've got a lot of lessons to learn, but we will learn them. We'll get to work on the training pitch and we'll be a different team on Wednesday. I think Wednesday, you just have to, take the confidence from a great 4-0 victory, but just look on it as a new game. I think it's going to be a really tough test.
Yeah.
To quote that cliche, Dingwall's never an easy place to go. I can't think Aberdeen have ever strolled to a victory up there. They've got a few victories up there, but it's never been easy. It'll be a real battle, but what a chance to reach Hampden. That's got to be the target. What a chance to reach Hampden. And as we know, not getting ahead of ourselves, this tournament is wide open with Celtic out.
Yeah, exactly. Safe travels up the road on Wednesday. Dave, thanks so much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll catch up with you again.
Bye-bye.
See you, mate. Bye-bye. Thank you, Dave. So this is what Barry had to say after yesterday's win. We brought a lot of speed and passed the ball really well. It was a worthy win for us. We don't get carried away. We won a game at home. We had a good performance, but we have a big game on Wednesday that we want to try and win. So that's what Barry had to say after yesterday's game. Let me just give you the match stats quickly. So in terms of possession, it was just about evens. They just about scraped at Ross County. We had 13 shots to their 11. On target, we had 6 to their 2. 9 fouls committed to their 10. And the two sides shared 5 corners each. Now, if you're watching for the very first time or you've not seen Ali Beg ABTV, this is what we're all about. And I'd be absolutely thrilled if you would please consider subscribing to the channel. It won't cost you anything. All you have to do is just press the little subscribe button on YouTube, and it just means that you won't miss anything from the channel going forward. We are only 10 away from 2,900 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. So what we're going to do now, it's now going to sort of start turning the show over to you, the fans. So we'll get Richard on first, who I spoke to earlier, and then we'll start reading out your comments. So this is the part of the show, because it's all about the fans, I like to call Red All Over. Hello.
Hi there.
How you doing?
I'm very good. I'm a lot better speaking to you after a 4-0 win, as is always the case.
I thought you'd be all right today, actually. So what did you make of that then?
Really good. Look, those two games, Frankfurt and Ross County, have showed us what we can do. The bar has been set, and I always talk about chronic curmudgeons and reasoned realists and happy clappers and blind faithers and all that kinds of stuff. If you weren't satisfied and happy by that result yesterday, then you might as well put your scarf and your season ticket, send it back to the club, because there was so much to love about the game yesterday. Goals, great goals, team goals, a clean sheet. All 4 goals had something about them that were just that little bit special. The clean sheet, Rubišić in defence at the centre, looking pretty comfortable there for the only thing I think you could say that was probably was unfortunate was the McGarry injury. I've not heard the latest on that. You might have.
No,
but
I haven't either. Nothing.
That's what you want to see. That's what Pittodrie for goals. That's what you want to see. And as I said, the bar has been set. I think for me, we saw that last season with He Who Shall Not Be Named, in terms of, you come off the back of a great 4 or 5 goal win, and then the next game is terrible again. So that's what we want to see. As I said, that level of performance where, the ball has been played on the ground. It was 50-50 in terms of possession yesterday, but when we had the ball, we looked like a mega threat, and Shinnie running like Usain Bolt, and all the goals were great. Yeah, can't enthuse more passionately about that's what you want to see as an Aberdeen fan.
Do you know what I found really interesting when I was up in Frankfurt on Thursday when I'm talking to the fans? They were all saying tonight it's a free ticket, not overly bothered. As long as we put in a decent performance, that's all we're looking for. If we get something, fantastic. But the next two games could determine whether Barry will stay or go. Some argued that it wouldn't. So there were a lot of nervous fans about yesterday's game. But I tell you something, all of a sudden, it makes us really look forward now to Wednesday night. And I'm so delighted that we are looking forward to Wednesday and not dreading it, which could have been the case, I think.
Again, is complacency. That's what you worry about. And you think just because you've done it on Sunday, it's going to be a stroll in the park on Wednesday. And, let's be clear, Ross County were stingy in defence up until yesterday. And as Malky Mackay had said, that was very much a sort of a result that he wasn't expecting, and a result that wasn't indicative of how Ross County had been performing up until now. I don't think you take any games for granted, but I think what yesterday shows you was going, and I'm sure Barry Robson probably said that's the bar, that's the level. I wouldn't expect necessarily 4 goals again in Dingwall on Wednesday, but there's enough there, and there's enough in that squad to be able to deliver the win. And that's what, regardless of what the form was prior to Frankfurt, that's what Don's fans expect. I know that gap in terms of third to bottom is diminishing season by season, but there's enough about us. We've got enough there to expect, and hopefully, that the only doubt in the mind is going complacency, that just because we did it yesterday or did it on Sunday, that we somehow think it's going to be a stroll in the park on Wednesday.
Mate, I'm looking forward to that game. I really can't wait. It's lovely to get you on, as always. So enjoy the rest of your week.
Enjoy the rest of your week, and stand free. Hope Wednesday and at the weekend will be fun games.
Yeah, top man. Speak to you soon. Ta-da, fella. My thanks to Richard, as always. Right, let's now start opening up the chat and see how you all are tonight. Okay, let's start with John Grant. He says, good evening, everybody. What a turnaround in the last week. Much better than expected in Germany, and putting in such a great performance 3 days later against a side who have given us and many others problems. He went on to say, I thought Bojan was great on Sunday, but Shinnie, Barron and the defenders were excellent. Never felt under any pressure from their aerial threat. Good times ahead, hopefully. Duncan Wright is here. Hi, Duncan. How you doing? We played 3 at the back again. This time it worked. Have we turned a corner with it, or was it a one-off, he asks. Time will tell, I hope, so Barry is bold to stick with it under pressure. Kevin Turner has said, really enjoyed yesterday's game, from the collective relief around Pataudry when Duke finally scored to Barron's solid performance in midfield. Here's hoping the Reds are back in business. Scott W is here. Hi Scott. Good evening, fellow sheepies. We'll all be in a better frame of mind after the result yesterday. Laurel 101 has said, thought Gartenman was a rock at the back yesterday, but the whole back 3 were very solid, even Ruby. Scott W went on to say, hopefully this is the corner being turned. The performance in Germany surprised me. More the teamwork. We played as a unit for the first time this season. He went on to say, Scott, then yesterday we carried that on. We were brilliant for long spells. The defence looked solid. The midfield was creative. And the front 2 were on fire. Ian Fulton. Hi Ian, I hope you're well, mate. Good evening, fellow dandies from the sunny Algarve, where the temperature is as hot as the Dons were yesterday. What a great performance, he said. Scott W came back to say, now we need to carry this on to Wednesday, get to Hampden, and then get in about Rangers next weekend, as they're really not firing. They're not, and they are absolutely there to be got at. So again, let's take care of Wednesday night first, and then let's see what happens come Saturday afternoon. Alan Nichol. Hi, Alan. He says, I'm glad the team put in a good performance in Germany for the away fans. I'll come to that. I've got a little video for you to watch in just a moment, which I just threw it together, really, just of the experience. Graham Watson has said the mentality seems to have changed in the last couple of games. Was good to see confidence in possession. Graham Clark has said, good evening, Ali and fellow dandies. Hope you're all well. Before commenting on the Frankfurt game, I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on yesterday's game as I missed it. How was Barry set up, play well, etc.? Hopefully, Graham, a lot of your fellow fans will let you know. But honestly, at times, it was a joy to watch. Kaiser's here. How you doing, Kaiser? He says, fit like everybody. That's more like it. Alan Nichol came back to say, also happy for Barry and the backroom staff after yesterday's performance. They've taken a bit of stick recently, so hopefully we've turned the corner. Sugarland has said, good evening to everybody. Big performance from Connor Barron. It would have been expected that he would be swapped for Clarkson, but he survived the 90 minutes. Well done to him. David Gold is here wishing everyone a good evening. Jason Campbell has said that was much more like it. Scottish Susie is here. Hi, Susie. Evening, everyone. Mondays feel so much better when your team wins at the weekend. Carry it on into the game on Wednesday. Come on, you Reds. The big question is, from Sugarland, did Ali chuck that flare and he's only just out of jail and that's why there's no Euro review? Okay, so listen, it's no laughing matter. There was no weekend review, no Euro review because I was away for the weekend with the family. But the flare incident. So, look, I personally didn't see it. I didn't see the person throw it. I just saw it come up and land in the Frankfurt end. Obviously, it was an incredibly stupid and dangerous thing to do. And as you know, I don't preach. It's not my place to preach. But I know that it left many, many fans extremely disappointed and angry at the behaviour of one individual. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, it's those sort of incidents that can tarnish the good name of our fans who continually behave impeccably and the good name of the football club on the continent. I hope whatever happens to that kid, he gets the book thrown at him, because it was, honestly, I cannot get over the stupidity of it. I really can't. Bob Duffer. Hi, Bob. I hope you're well, mate. It was lovely to meet you last week. What he's basically said, what a great 3 days he had. It was lovely to meet you, mate. Kaiser's come back to say, I'm not getting carried away. Ross County were only playing 3 at the back yesterday. That might have something to do with it. Graham Clark has come back to say, now to Frankfurt. I think everyone was expecting a proper drilling. I know I was, but I was immensely proud of the team in Germany. We put in a shift, gave them a game, and as fans, that's all we want. Honestly, as much as I was gutted that we actually lost the game, I thought we were immense. I was so proud of the boys. And honestly, the fans were, oh man, you'll see in a minute. The fans were just brilliant. Michael Scott is here wishing everybody a good evening. Nobody does roller coaster seasons like Aberdeen. Let's hope it's the turnaround that we want and we need. David Gold has come back to say, no disrespect to Ross County, but that's exactly the kind of match we need to be winning comfortably at home to realise our ambitions to finish third again. B16KVB has said, don't want to get carried away, but I think it's about time we get some silverware this season. I could not agree more, mate. Can't be bothered has said, one swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Similarly, one day or brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. Still have my doubts about Barry. Graham Klein has said, hopefully we kick on from here. See you in Dingwall on Wednesday, he said. Bob Duffer came back to say that Frankfurt trip will live with me forever. What a fantastic 3 days. Met some great guys and reconnected with those I hadn't seen in decades. David Gold came back to say Ruby playing alongside Jensen and Gartenman will learn a lot. Chris Clark has said, we seriously needed that big result against County on Sunday. The first 30 minutes I had the fear, but once we got the goal, the confidence grew and we got better and better. Delighted for Duke. I have to say, I thought Ross County, actually started better than we did. Graham Clark has asked if there's any news on the severity of the injury to McGarry. Hopefully not too severe and hopefully not out long term, as I think he's a real player. So as Richard and I discussed a minute ago, I've not seen anything, I've not read anything, and I've certainly not been told anything. Graham Barron has said, good evening, Ali and fellow dandies. Brilliant performance on Thursday and carried on to Sunday. We need to be at it again on Wednesday and against Sevco. Ben Rose is here. What a difference a week makes. Keep it going, Dons. Kaiser 1903 has said, against Sevco, 3 at the back won't work. They'll play 4-3-3. That means 2 going down the wing against our 1. Yeah, I don't think he'll play 3 at the back at Ibrox. I'd be very surprised if he did. Scott W has said, Bojan has been outstanding this season. We'll no doubt lose him next summer, but if he keeps this up, we'll get a good 15 million plus for him if the club has any sense. Sugarland came back to ask, what's folks' opinions on Palvara? I thought he's done okay, but actually I think we saw what Robson had in mind with him in midweek. I got to be honest, I thought Dante was fantastic against Frankfurt, and I'll be totally transparent. I was surprised he started, but my goodness, I think that game suited him perfectly. And I was a little bit surprised he didn't start yesterday, because I thought he was magnificent against Frankfurt. Michael Clark has said, I just asked this, why can that assault on Johnny not be looked at? It was a shocker. Red all day. Oh, I can't get my head around that. David Gold has said, McGrath was excellent yesterday. I've already earmarked him for our signing of this season. Scott W came back to say, I'm delighted for Duke, as he's been starting to get some flack. It was always going to take a goal to get him going. Yesterday, he was back to his best. The confidence was oozing from him. I could not agree more. B16 KVB also speaking about Duke. Hopefully that's the real Duke back, and we can please take a moment to appreciate Miofsky. He's some boy. He was great yesterday again, wasn't he? Many of you are commenting on how well Connor Barron has played. Sugarland came on and said, that team on Sunday looked like we have finally worked out how to fill the McCrory-Adani gap. McCrory-Adani gap. Very good, Sugarland. Very good. Yeah, a lot of you are talking about this tackle on Johnny yesterday. Scott W came back to say, County should have had 2 boys sent off. That tackle on Hayes was assault. When you think about Shinnie getting a 3-game ban last season against them for winning the ball, that boy was out of control. Oh, where do you begin? Where do you begin? Graham Barron said, I turned 40 on Thursday. Many happy returns, mate. And to be in a semi-final and to beat Sevco would be a great present. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. You turn 40 on Thursday. So when it comes, Graham, hope you have a fantastic day and you get spoilt rotten on what will be a very special day for you. Talking obviously about the tackle. If that was Shinnie, that done them 2 tackles, he would have been banned all season. Gray Pilgrim has said, Barry's desire to play high press and high tempo has looked frantic and chaotic at times, but we played with patience and discipline against Frankfurt and County. We're getting it together at last. Right, just let me bring that down for just now. So, Frankfurt. It was a phenomenal trip, I have to say. I loved every minute of it, and thank you so much for all of you who came over and said hello and took time to have a chat with me about the channel and just life in general. I was really quite humbled by it. So look, I made a little video. It's just something to look back on, and I hope you enjoy it. This was Frankfurt. Good morning from my little village in Germany. Here comes the train, and we're heading off to Munich, and then we're up to Frankfurt. Come on, you Reds! After what was a really long night from Frankfurt down to Munich, here I am in Munich, and now I'm heading home to my little village, right down on the German-Austrian border. So, it's a horrible morning, the day after the night before, but we had a fantastic time sharing about the result. We're looking forward to getting home. Safe travels, everybody. There you go. It's a trip that will long stick in the memory, I have to say. The walk from, so we got kept in for about, it was about 45 minutes, give or take, and then obviously to let the Frankfurt fans go first, and then we were let out of the stadium, and it's about an 800-meter walk through the forest to get back to the train station, to what was our train, the fans' train. And honestly, the heavens opened, and oh my God, got absolutely drenched. And when we got on the train, we were packed in like sardines. And I think the only word to describe it, the feeling in that train was clammy. Oh dear. But it was brilliant fun. And yeah, as I said, thank you so much to all of you who came over. Now, there were a few suggestions for the channel. And one of the suggestions which appeared to be quite popular among you, and hence this is why I posted it yesterday on Facebook. So I asked the question, would you prefer to watch a preview to a game on the day of the game or the night before the game? Because everybody that came over and made the suggestions all said they would prefer to see the preview show the night before the game. So when I posted on Facebook yesterday, I didn't really know what to expect. So I was a little bit shocked when we had nearly 560 votes and 92% of you said you would prefer to watch a preview the night before the game. Because then if you miss it or you're out and about or whatever, you've still got plenty of time to catch up with the show before obviously we kick off. Now I know that it means, because a lot of you commented about, well, you'll miss the team news and us reacting to team news and stuff like that, which I'm very conscious of. But what I think makes up for that the night before the game is that we can sort of predict the team, like as in all of us, and we can have some fun with it. And I can obviously read out your comments about what you think the team will be for any particular game that we play against. So, from tomorrow, we will be previewing every game the night before the game. So ahead of our Ross County League Cup quarter-final, we will air tomorrow night at 7 o'clock UK time, and we will carry that forward. So thank you to all of you who voted, and thank you to all of you who made the suggestion. Very grateful to you. Right, let's get back to your comments. The Mad Ferret has said, thank God you cut out the lad going for a hit and a miss in the forest walk. Oh boy. Honestly, some of the sights, there's a couple of guys on the train. It was so funny. Obviously the beer was flowing, as you could imagine. And when Aberdeen scored, it was a beer shower. Got absolutely drenched in the stuff. Thank God it poured because it washed us all down. So we were stood on the train, and I was kind of stuck right in the corner of the train where the doors are. So you got on, and I just sort of made a beeline for the other exit because there were no seats. So I just stood in that corner with Rick McLean and a couple of the other lads that I met, and a couple of the lads got on, and you think to yourself, they need to sit down. They seriously need to sit down because they're not going to make the 15-minute journey back to Frankfurt Central standing up. And these two guys, they literally fell asleep standing up. And the two of them, they were just, they're like this. And I don't know how they've managed to keep their balance. It was so funny. Oh, it really made for such a laugh. Oh boy. So SITV Network said that vid was awesome. What happened to the person that shot the flare? No idea. Absolutely no idea. All we know is that he got arrested. Gareth Mackey said, do you think we'll lose Miovski next year? Love the show, Ali. Keep up the good work. Thank you, mate. Look, it all depends how he performs this season. But, if a club comes in and offers what we all think should be proper money for a player of Bojan's talent, none of this 1.6, 1.5, 2.4 million. If you saw my interview with Derek Ray, and he talked about two of Eintracht's best players leaving. Okay, I know it's different league, different standard, different quality, blah, blah, blah. But for something like a combined fee of 125 million, 125 million for two players. And I still think that we are guilty as a football club of underselling our best players. Scott Farquhar has come back and said, Ali, have you ever thought about doing similar stuff to what you did with Andy Considine a few years ago, like a day in the life type throng whenever you're back over? Yes, absolutely I have, mate. And I would love to do it. And that is very much where the membership scheme becomes very useful for me, because if you sign up to that membership, you become a member of Alibeg ABTV. It's a very small subscription fee to pay. And it just means that you can help me enhance this channel by making more content. So even though I always plan to go to the Frankfurt game, your very kind contributions helped me get to that game, and I was able to make the content for you. Because obviously post-production, all that sort of stuff. So anything that I make from the membership, I've said it time and time again, anything that I make from the membership in terms of monetary value, which very kindly comes from you, always goes back into this channel, be it equipment, the way the studio looks, or simply making content. It will always go back into this channel so that I can continually bring you content. Let's get back to your comments. Laura McLean is here. Hi, Laura. Evening, everyone. Nice to see us back on form. Got a little concerning for a minute, but all good. Graham Clark has said, any watch-along games on the horizon, Ali? I enjoyed the last one you did. I got to be honest, I think we're going to do one on Wednesday. If you're up for doing a watch-along on Wednesday night, let me know. I'm going to post about it on socials as well, but I would like to do a watch-along show on Wednesday night so we can basically all watch the game together. And just comment and read out comments and just make it a community. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Kaiser has said, so it is a little bit of a bone of contention, I got to say. So Kaiser came on and said, the problem with having alcohol at matches is throwing the lager all over folk. That people need to grow up. So it happened a lot on Thursday night, I have to be honest. Look, it's again, as I said, it's not for me to preach. I personally would never do something like that. I don't really see why people have to do it, and I really don't understand why fans have to throw their plastic cartons of beer into opposing fans. I just don't get it. I don't understand that type of behaviour. If that's what you do, that's what you do. It's not for me to say, but I think you're in the wrong, and I don't think you should be doing it. I just don't think it's a very nice thing to do, if I'm being honest. Kaiser has come back to say Miovski should have at least an 8 million tag on him. Could not agree more, mate. John Dorwood is here. Hi, John. Miovski is rejuvenated since his injury. Better strength and hold-up play and picking some quality passes. Kevin Turner has said Saw McGarry walk from the main stand to the car park after the game, moving fairly freely. Hopefully he's not as badly injured as first thought. Brilliant, Kevin. Thank you for posting that, mate. John Dorwood, where's the details for the membership scheme? So what you have to do, mate, is you need to do it on your laptop or a PC. Go to the home page, the Alibeg ABTV, and you'll see a little button that says join. Click on there. There's a little video of me introducing the membership scheme, and then obviously make up your own mind whether you wish to join or not. Scott W has said, we are getting better at selling players, but you're right. We need to start valuing our top players properly. 10 to 15 million for Bojan, for example. Kaiser has said, with such a tremendous striker like Miovski, it's frustrating we don't always play to his strengths. Yep. Paul Herd has said, the desire shown to continually burst forward to support the front two was a joy to watch yesterday. It was, mate, wasn't it? Rick McBain has come. Hi Rick, how are you? The two sleeping while standing on the train must have suffered on Friday morning. Oh boy, honestly, it was so funny. Kaiser has said, Celtic and Sevco got drink banned in grounds. We all think it would be good to get lag in the ground, but it needs to be sensible. That's the thing. And you see, that's what I like here, particularly in Austria. So I take the kids to Red Bull Salzburg quite a lot, and you know, you can get beer on tap at these games, but everybody's sensible with it, and you never see sort of unruly behaviour from fans. Not that I've seen. That there well could be, but I've certainly not witnessed it. So I'm only going by my own experiences. You know, and you've got beer vendors that walk up and down the stairs, you know, and folk. What amazed me was, you know, you could be 6 or 7 deep in your seat, and they would just call the guy to stop, and he's got one of these big tanks on his back, and he would pour a beer, and he would pass it to the first person, and they just pass it along, you know. And to me, it's just civil, I think is the word I'm looking for, civil. But maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. Sugarland makes a great point. Mate at the game mentioned the beer cups had a €2 deposit, and a couple of kids around them scooped up the thrown empties and made around €500 between them. I saw that as well. Was that us? I don't think that was us, mate. I think that was that the Liverpool game the other night? I'm sure I read somewhere that it was a group of Liverpool fans. Genius, by the way, genius. Kaiser said they do things far better on the continent. They do, mate. They, as much as it pains me to say, they do. And I remember having the conversation with Dave Cormack years ago when I said to him, "Look, come over, come and have a look at what they do at Red Bull Salzburg, because it's family orientated, it's fan orientated, and it's just absolutely fantastic. You know, when you're outside the stadium, it's just a joy. They've got kid zones, food stalls, beer tents. They've got coaches on hand to coach kids in the kid zones, all that sort of stuff. Prizes, you know, that thing when there's a board with a goal and you've got holes cut out in certain parts of the goal. And if a kid hits the top corner, he gets a strip and he'll get his name put on it. If he hits the bottom corner, he gets a signed ball. If she knocks it into the top corner, they get the strip with their name on it. All that sort of stuff. It's just brilliant. The mascots for the game, they go into what is the five-a-side cages, with the AstroTurf. They go in there and they get coached by community coaches. So they get coached before they go out and do their duties as ball girls and ball boys. It's absolutely brilliant. I know that at Pittodrie, the flag bearers now come on before kick-off and the fans can give them a rapturous ovation and all that sort of stuff. But I'm telling you, what I've seen at Red Bull Salzburg is 100 times better than how we do it at Pittodrie, because they make it like a show when they bring on, they actually introduce the flag bearers to the whole stadium. The place goes mental, and then they come in the middle of the pitch, very much like what we do, wave the flags, blah blah blah, and then they go back and they take their position in what is that standing section. It's just fantastic. The whole thing is fantastic. And again, at Frankfurt, when they scored across so you got up on the big screen that sits in the middle of the stadium, and it's something I've been advocating for years that we should be doing. And forgive me if this already happens, but I can't remember the last time I was at Pittodrie that this did happen, which, to be fair, was a wee while ago. Whenever any player scores at Frankfurt, the guy comes on the tannoy, he shouts the guy's Christian name first, and then it's up to the fans to shout their surname. Yeah. And the whole place goes absolutely mental, and it just lifts the atmosphere, and we should be doing it that way. Humbly speaking, of course. Okay, so how are we doing? Right, we've done over 45 minutes. So, look, I'm absolutely delighted to how many have commented tonight, how many of you come on. So thank you so much for all your comments. We'll call it a day. There we go, let's get rid of that. So, as I said, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock for the preview show ahead of our League Cup game on Wednesday night. And then on Wednesday, let's do a watch-along show and let's have some fun together. So, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good couple of days. Enjoy, obviously, what was a great win yesterday for the Dons. And I'll see you again tomorrow night. Gosh, it's going to be a busy week this week on Ali Beg ABTV. I hope you can stay with us. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Stand free.